What's up, Charlotte FC fans? I'm Eric Krakauer, and this is a Leagues Cup Especial. As always, I'm joined by Lloyd Sam.
Hola.
And we have brought in some heavy hitters, two faces and two names that are synonymous with Charlotte FC. We have Jaime Moreno,
JM, Lloyd, Antonio, Eric, gracias por la invitación el día de hoy.
You're welcome. And Antonio Toño Ramos.
¿Cómo están? Contentos de hablar de Leagues Cup, de este nuevo formato, este nuevo torneo internacional y muy entusiasmados de que ya arranque este torneo.
Entusiasmados is the right word for this because we are right around the corner from Leagues Cup kickoff. And before we continue, just a little bit of information about the tournament. 47 teams are participating in it. Teams from MLS and Liga MX. 2 teams from each 3-team group will make it to the knockout stage. 3 points for a win, a point for a draw, but every team will have, or every game rather, will have a shootout. The winner of the shootout will get an extra point. Charlotte are in the South 4 group with FC Dallas and Necaxa. And Jaime, Necaxa, a very special group for you, or team for you.
Claro, no, porque crecí con el escudo de Necaxa. Importante que la gente sepa que Necaxa es un equipo de mucha tradición en México. El 23 de agosto del año en curso, el Necaxa cumplirá 100 años de vida, de historia. El equipo de Necaxa que ha tenido una transformación en estos últimos 30 años de 360 grados.
Antonio, Necaxa right now, where do they find themselves as a club?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a transition for them because they have a new coach in Rafael Dudamel, the Venezuelan coach. He, coached the national team of Venezuela in 2 Copa Americas. They finished 17th place last season out of 18 teams, so they've been struggling a little bit. But overall, I think this roster, needs a little bit of time and adjustments and just waiting for Rafael Dudamel to take over these teams.
What's also curious is you mentioned the 100th anniversary for Necaxa, and that really juxtaposes a lot of these Mexican teams that are playing in the tournament with the Major League Soccer teams. You take Charlotte, for example, an inaugural side. FC Dallas, one of the charter teams, one of the pioneers in this league. And Lloyd, I'll move on to you. You've done a lot of homework on FC Dallas recently. We just called their game. What do you make of them?
Man, it really is. Who are they right now? It's hard to see who they are. Their last 5 games before the Seattle one was 4 losses, 1 win. When I look at their team, I wasn't seeing a lot of familiar pattern of play from game to game. The big thing is they haven't had Jesus Ferreira because he's been at the Gold Cup. When he's there, they're a different team. He's more the pattern of play. Get it to Jesus, get runners around him. That means they're a bit of an up and down side. And if you look at, Charlotte, right now their results haven't been great. Dallas results haven't been great.
And Necaxa, yeah.
So it's a bit of a, when you look at the division, should be a fun one to watch because there's no team that should take it clearly in the mind. I do think Dallas have a huge advantage because obviously they're at home.
Y creo que es una buena oportunidad de los 3 equipos, como Lloyd decía, en este grupo, de encontrar una identidad, de un nuevo inicio rápido en la temporada. Liga MX apenas inició 3 semanas, MLS ya está en una etapa más madura, pero tanto Dallas, Charlotte como Necaxa creo que necesitan este break también de sus ligas locales para encontrar una identidad, para mejorar, probar cosas nuevas y que esto compita sólidamente en Leagues Cup, pero que te ayude tanto en Liga MX como en MLS también.
That's big. The Liga MX is 3 weeks.
Yeah.
MLS 25 weeks.
So no excuses, but it's a difference in fitness and soccer level.
It's an excuse that could make, to be fair.
Son momentos deportivos, sport moments.
Yeah.
¿Qué equipo de Charlotte te vas a encontrar? ¿El Charlotte que jugó contra Cincinnati en casa? ¿Que jugó contra el mejor equipo de la liga y le compitió, lo tuvo abajo? ¿O un Charlotte que fue a Montreal? ¿Qué Charlotte es el que vamos a encontrar? Y creo que es una perfecta oportunidad para el profesor Cristian Latancio para poder identificar qué es la necesidad de este equipo para que deje ser un equipo bipolar. Que juguemos a lo mismo todo el tiempo. Y esa es la gran dificultad que creo que pasa por ahora nuestro Charlotte FC.
I would say that is the theme that runs across this group, right?
Yeah.
Inconsistency, a search for identity. But I think we should focus a little bit on Charlotte FC and the fact that this season we've seen a highly competitive team who can play and beat just about anybody, and then one that isn't performing at the level that it needs to be performing in order to be competitive. You know, Lloyd, you've played in leagues and cup competitions, and how much of a mental switch is there from playing in a league campaign where perhaps things aren't going that well, and then focusing on a cup campaign where anything is possible?
You welcome that. You know, the pressure of the league is always going to be the pressure of the league, especially if results aren't going well. Like, you go into cup games thinking, we're getting away from that pressure, let's go and enjoy this game. But you're going into a cup game in Dallas and it could be 102. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy for Charlotte FC and Necaxa going to Dallas to play these games. Necaxa guys are going to
they play in Aguascalientes. They play in the weather too, but it's
hot.
It's different. Yeah, it's a challenge, of course.
Higher seeded MLS teams have a big advantage in this tournament.
Yeah.
But remember that even when Mexico plays the United States, here in the United States, the vast majority of fans are Mexican fans.
That's true. That's a great point.
So in Dallas, when FC Dallas plays, it's going to be very interesting to see how many Necaxa fans are going to be there. And when Charlotte plays here at Bank of America Stadium, how many will be here as well?
And that's a great point, Eric, porque si algo ha tenido nuestro Charlotte FC, consistencia es en el fan base. Uno de los equipos con mayor fan base partido a partido.
And
no
the
son
loudest.
30,000, 32,000. Ellos van a venir a apoyar a Necaxa.
Y el apoyo hispano también que tenía Charlotte FC.
Claro, el apoyo hispano que tiene Charlotte FC. Y creo que we have some consistency there.
So here's a question for you. There's always an interesting discussion when you have a team from your league participating in a tournament, but it's not your team. Whether you should support that team or you should root against them, right? Do you think that is something that is going to affect Mexican fans? Because I'm sure there are a lot of Chivas fans here, a lot of Club America fans, a lot of Pumas fans.
You're saying they might come to support.
Will they support Necaxa or will they support Charlotte?
The normal name to call those kind of fights is el camisetazo. You change the shirt for that
insulting.
game. You change the shirt for that
What's
game.
the name?
Camisetazo. Personalmente, fíjate que yo siendo fan de Necaxa, Antonio me preguntaba, ¿no? Oye, ¿cómo le vas a hacer? Le digo, Antonio, tengo dos manos. ¿A cuál quiero más? ¿A la derecha o a la izquierda? I'm gonna support both teams.
Yeah.
I want the soccer to win. That's what I want.
And you know what?
You'd be a good politician.
The rivalry between not only Liga MX and MLS, but Mexico and US is just getting better.
Yeah.
And I think this is the perfect partnership between, you know, the top two leagues in CONCACAF, just increasing the level of the area. I can't remember a time when Liga MX needed more MLS now than ever because of MLS exposure, the venues. I think Liga MX has a lot of things to learn from MLS, and MLS needs Liga MX as well. So it's just, you know, the tradition in Mexico, the culture. The Hispanic fans are going to be supporting maybe two teams, you know. So I think that's a perfect marriage, and the fans are going to love it. And that's what CONCACAF needed, in my opinion. And those three CONCACAF Champions League spots are huge in this tournament.
Yeah, I think it cannot be overstated how important those spots are. There's something to play for. Everyone wants to play in the CONCACAF Champions League and maybe win that and get to the Club World Cup. One other difference that should be highlighted between the two tournaments, the Champions League and Leagues Cup, is that the Champions League is a measuring of forces of the elite clubs in both leagues. This is really an opportunity for us to see the quality of both these leagues from top to bottom. Yeah. We'll see how the top MLS teams do against top Liga MX teams, how the middling teams do against each other, and the bottom teams as well.
You get the tiers now that you can compare, as you're saying. That's really interesting.
That gets the rivalry just, firing in.
To wrap things up, two of these teams will make it to the knockout stages, and they will play two teams from the South 3, Cruz Azul, Inter Miami, and Atlanta United. So there are a lot of interesting subplots in these two groups and these potential matchups. Last thoughts before we wrap up. Anyone?
Creo que va a ser un torneo que va a despertar el apetito de muchas ligas a nivel mundial. Creo que este torneo va a dejar un precedente único en el continente americano para que los equipos europeos se den cuenta de cómo está creciendo el fútbol en Estados Unidos.
Y gana también el aficionado.
Claro,
Ahí
no,
me-
gana el aficionado.
El aficionado hispano que vive en los Estados
Claro.
Unidos, que tiene esa identidad con su club de donde vive como Charlotte FC, pero también, como dijo Eric, tienes a su club en México. Creo que esa comunión es muy bonita y es lo que te da el fútbol.
Claro.
Lloyd, any last thoughts?
Last though, obviously we're gonna be calling the game, so I'm just hoping everyone takes it serious and we get some good games, get some goals, you know, just have a fun tournament, man. It should be fun. So
Yeah, a clean slate for all three of these teams, an opportunity to get into a knockout competition and then into another prestigious continental competition. So you'll be able to see Charlotte FC, Necaxa, and FC Dallas play each other. You can listen to Jaime Moreno and Antonio Ramos, and you can listen to Lloyd Sam and myself on Apple TV. I hope you enjoyed this little talk, and I hope you enjoy the tournament.